Good evening, everyone. My name is Sam Gomez. I'm a woodwind doubler based here in North Florida. And in my hand right here, I have, yes, another Sopranino saxophone. If you guys have watched my channel, the very few amount of you that have, you guys will know that I did a review on a different Sopranino saxophone, the Schiller American 400 Sopranino that was modeled after a Selmer Super Action Series 2. Went up to high F sharp, modern pinky table. This is not that horn. This is a Eastern Music Sopranino saxophone in the key of E flat. Now, for some of you guys that know, I did a review on an Eastern Music tenor, working on getting access to an Eastern Music Barry and alto, because they're really great horns, and for the price, you really can't beat them. Just some basic stuff to start off on this horn. Obviously, yes, it's a Sopranino saxophone in the key of E flat. It's modeled after a Mark VI. So you've got the Mark VI style pinky table. You got that giant C sharp key, your B and your B flat, and then your G sharp. You've got these very antiquated style palm keys. You got D and E flat. And then you do have E right here. This does go up to high E. So, I mean, if you really wanted to, I need to work on my Sopranino playing. I'm not a Sopranino player. But, for somebody that, you know, either wants something to mess around with on, or has a sax choir like I do, which is why I got this instrument. It's really, really great. Going back to the review on the Schiller, you guys remember that I was kind of like iffy on it. It's an okay horn. I got it for about $490, something like that. And for $490, yeah, you got yourself a Sopranino saxophone. But the quality was questionable, and then after the video, it went out of adjustment, and it was super hard to put back in adjustment. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to see if I can get a different mouthpiece. And Sopranino mouthpieces, they change a lot on the horn. So I got a Yanagasawa 5 in metal for Sopranino saxophone, and it did a lot. It did a lot. The horn plays more in tune, oddly enough. I'm guessing that the mouthpiece was just a piece of garbage, but yeah. So enough talk about that. Let's talk about this, because this is what I have in my hands. I don't have the Schiller. So this is an Eastern Music Sopranino saxophone. Like I said, it's modeled after the Mark VI. A very comfortable horn, oddly enough. You'd think by looking at that pinky table and these palm keys that it'd be hard to get around on. I guess if like all you're used to is a Yamaha or a Selmer, yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to get around on. But honestly, it's really not that bad to get around on. You have this giant oversized roller right here. You can slide from C sharp to B flat or C sharp to B. And these palm keys really aren't that bad. You just tilt up. You tilt your finger up and it's fine. The build quality on this instrument is superb. I think I said that about... I might not have said that about the Schiller, because it was kind of questionable. But this feels like a Yamaha. Like, as far as build quality goes, the metal is super sturdy. I've noticed that with a lot of these Eastern Music horns. Yes, they're Chinese, but the metal is super, super, super tough. Like, super strong. Feels like, you know, something that you would get from a reputable brand. Not that Eastern Music isn't a reputable brand. It's just not very well known. And you don't see band directors or music stores repping Eastern Music. So this is kind of like a under the carpet, under the table kind of deal. Some quirks that it has, obviously, like I was talking about, the pinky table, the palm keys. It doesn't have a front F. My Schiller has a front F. Not that you're ever going to be playing high Fs on Sopranino. If you're writing high Fs and F sharps, you can go straight to the land down under. And I'm not talking about Australia. Because everybody that plays Sopranino is going to hate you. I'm going to hate you. The people in my choir are going to hate you. Don't write high E's and high F's and high F sharps. High D, that's probably about as high as you can go. But the pinky, I'm not at the pinky table. The side keys are very comfortable. On the Mark 6s, from what I've seen, this key is flat. This is nice and sculpted, so it fits very comfortably into your hand. You can hit it no problem. The side C and side B flat are pretty close together, so you just got to watch out. That way you're not hitting one or both of them at the same time, or one that you're not trying to hit. But yeah, out of the box, so I'll tell you a little bit about this. So I got this from a buddy of mine. He had seen the Schiller. He's like, this really isn't all that great of a horn. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But for $490 or $450 or however much I paid for it, it wasn't over $500. I know I paid less than $500 for it. But for a Sopranino, it does the job. It works for the choir. You have to have a tuner sitting on your stand right there staring at it the whole time. But other than that, I'm not too upset with it, honestly. And then he's like, well, I have a friend down in Melbourne who will remain unnamed. He has an Eastern Music. In fact, that's actually where we're getting all of these Eastern Music horns. My buddy, whose friend lives down in Melbourne, is a broker for Eastern Music, and he gets them shipped over from China. And they have baritone saxes, tenors, altos, sopranos, clarinets, bass clarinets, flutes, alto flutes. I think they actually make a contrabass clarinet. But yeah, all types of stuff. And they're just super great instruments. You have to try them to get it. But to say all that, he handed me this one day, and he said, give this a try. So I've had this for about, I'd say probably 2 or 3 weeks now, and I'm just super thoroughly impressed with the quality of the instrument. It feels super tight under the fingers. This horn is pretty much brand new. It still has some plastic wrap in the case for like the swab and the cork grease and whatnot. It still has some shipping material. It's got a piece of styrofoam from where it was shipped, and yeah. So I mean, it's a brand new horn. I want to say these run anywhere from $750 to $900. So for a Sopranino, this is probably one of your better options. You either have the Schillers, which are anywhere from $450 to $500, which you know how those are. You've got these, which are they might be like at max $1,000. So you've got one of these. You've got, I think, the John Packer Atom, and this it's pretty similar to this, but it's got a copper body and abalone pearl keys, but cosmetics. I want to say that runs about 12, and then you've got the P. Maria Alouette. I think that's like 4,000 or 5,000. Then you've got the Yanagasawa, and then you've got Selmers, which are upwards of $17,000. So for somebody wanting to get a Sopranino, I'd really honestly recommend this one over the Schiller. I haven't tried the John Packer or any of the other ones, but let's talk about this horn a little bit more other than me just rambling on. So it has, let me see, it has ribbed construction. So you have, I don't know if you can see all along there. Let me see if I can't get a better angle. I'm shooting this on my phone. Anyway, there's a rib all along here that everything from this post, actually you can probably see it right there if you look really closely. It's got a rib. There's a rib that runs all along here from this post to this post right here. So from here to here, there's a rib that this entire stack sits on. And there's a rib from here to here that this stack sits on. So it's ribbed construction. It's not singular post. So nice and sturdy. You're not going to have a post just up and come off. You may be one of these down here, but if you're swinging this thing around, I mean, what the heck are you doing? Overall, out of the box, pretty comfortable. The action is a little stiff out of the box. So I'm going to contribute that to it being, one, a new horn, and two, me just liking lighter action. But it doesn't feel bad. It's nice and snappy. I think I might have said earlier, it kind of feels like a Yamaha underneath the fingers. The pearl key touches. These might be pearloid. They look really, really real. They're not. They're pearloid. So, not like the cheap plastic, but definitely made to look a lot like pearl. You can see how they reflect. So, a very nice cosmetic touch, I'd say. Again, on some cosmetics, you have this nice little engraving down here. Very pretty. Eastern Music logo right there. Let me see. Yeah. Actually, that's AC. That's the guy's initials. Never mind. But this is an Eastern Music horn. Right out of the box. So I'm playing on the mouthpiece that it came with. Like I said, I have a Yanagasawa 5 metal mouthpiece that I got for quite a good deal. I think I got it for like $150. But this is the mouthpiece, just your standard generic ABS plastic. The facing isn't terrible. Let me see if I can get a better lighting on that. It's not a terrible facing. I want to say these vary a lot. Here's the chamber. Nice tight little chamber on it. Sopranino mouthpiece. Anyway, I think the facings on these vary greatly. It looks machine milled all the way up to the tip, but sometimes the rails are pretty uneven. This one doesn't look bad. It doesn't look terrible. Comes with this cheap little ligature. I mean, it fits. I mean, I have it loosened that way I can push this down on the reed far down enough. And it comes with a Van Doren Sopranino sax reed. So you actually get a Sopranino sax reed. You don't have to go out and buy. I mean, I went out and I bought some Sopranino sax reeds. I have some 3s and I have some 2.5s. I'm sorry, some 2s from like the 80s, I think. It's this old purple box right here. That's what some Van Doren reeds used to look like. I want to say these are from like the 80s. It's cardboard. Some of them are plastic. But yeah. So now it comes with a setup. Really good construction. You don't have a high F sharp, like I said. It only goes up to high E. The thumb rest and the octave key are actually quite comfortable. Your thumb just sits right there and just boop. It's not anything fancy. You can just slide up. Pretty nifty little thing going on there. You have some adjustment screws right there. I want to say that's for the octave key right there. So I don't know if you can see that right there, right where my finger is. There is, right there that's moving. There's a screw right there, and you can adjust that, and you can push it in or out. There's a little channel. So if your octave pip isn't opening far enough, or it's too close, you can adjust that, and you can vent your octave mechanism, which is quite nice. Let me see. We have some adjustment screws right there for the G sharp key, for the G and F. That puts the bis key down. So pretty comfortable right there. Don't have any adjustment screws on the back here. All that's just felt. That's all just controlled by some felt. Or some cork. The adjustment materials on these are just standard cork. some felts. There's actually a felt missing for the F sharp key right here. So whenever I go to finger the F sharp key, it doesn't go down all the way, which is whatever. That's fine. It's like a 2-minute fix at most, and maybe $5 in material, if that. Felt is cheap, and yeah, it feels, like I said, feels really good underneath the fingers. Horn's actually relatively well in tune with itself. Like, keep in mind, I'm not a Sopranino player, but it's not bad. But before I get to that, I'll show you guys the case. Let me set that down there. So it comes with little mouthpiece cap. That way you don't gack up your reed or your mouthpiece. So that's a nice little touch. Comes with, let me take all this crap out because those are stuff I bought. Comes with this little swab, which is nice. It's a little felt swab. You can just drop it down the horn. And some cork grease. Not bad, not a little bit. You know. Let me see if there's anything up in here. Just some of my reeds. Comes with a shoulder strap. Here, I'll show you guys the case. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So this is the case. It's a lot nicer than my other Sopranino case, which is basically just a box, and that's it. Your standard, it's got a zipper, got a little front pocket up here. You can put some reeds or a neck strap or whatever. Got the inside of the case. This is styrofoam, so I mean, if you want, you can get another case. I really haven't seen much of a market or an aftermarket for Sopranino sax cases, so the case that you get might kind of be with the one that you're stuck with, unless you want to contact somebody like Wiseman or, you know, something along those lines to get a custom case for it. You might be lucky enough to find one off of eBay, one that's wooden and it's got some better materials on the inside, but this is pretty much what you got. Comes with a shoulder strap. There are little hooks right here. Throw this over your shoulder. Comes in handy if you're doing a gig. And it comes with a little polishing cloth. So overall, not a bad setup for, you know, $750 to $900, however much I said. And then I think these are my, yeah, that doesn't come with that. And then, yeah, so I know I've kind of been all over the place. But all in all, I do recommend this this Sopranino saxophone. It's super nice, super clean looking. Doesn't look goofy. I remember I saw, you can see like some Sopranino saxophones on eBay. They're obviously Chinese, but I think I saw a red one and a blue one. I mean, that doesn't look professional, but you bring this out on stage for your sax choir or whatever you got going on, and it's nice. It looks nice. It's clean. Feels great under the fingers, like I said. I'm pretty much repeating myself at this point, but the only thing I could recommend is getting a different mouthpiece, whether that be a Selmer S80 or a Yanagasawa. I really like the Yanagasawa mouthpieces a lot. As far as a market on Sopranino mouthpieces, it's really pretty much either Selmer or Yanagasawa that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure if you wanted to, Sios would make your mouthpiece, but I really don't like Sios mouthpieces. And if you're playing Sopranino, 9 times out of 10 you're playing it in a classical setting. I mean, you can play jazz runs on it, but I mean, just play soprano for that. But without further ado, I'll just do some octaves in a chromatic scale. I'm not trying to whiz around on this thing any more than I have to because I'm not accustomed to this horn yet. But maybe some scales, so. that's a pretty decent octave right there. That might be a little flat. Not bad. On my Schiller, that's what it would have sounded like. That was me fingering D. Yeah, it's a nice Sopranino saxophone. I know I'm kind of grasping at straws at this point, but very comfortable in a playing setting. But all in all, I would recommend the crap out of this way more than I would the Schiller. Just for that extra $300 or $400 that you could use to get two of the Schiller, you're getting one of these, but it's just a much better instrument, sturdier, more in tune, feels better. Only downside is it's got the old antiquated style pinky tables, and it goes up to high E, doesn't go up to high F. But you're not playing up that high anyways. So all in all, would recommend this. Let me know what you guys want to see next. I kind of have a lot of stuff. I was thinking about doing a video on the difference between American and French rap bass saxophones, because I have access to both an American bass and a Chinese, but it's a Selmer copy bass saxophone. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. If you are watching this, leave a comment with whatever you might want to see. And yeah, the Eastern Music Sopranino saxophone. Nice little horn. All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.